And away we go. Hello. Yeah, got stuck at work this morning. Sorry about that, gang. It happens on Mondays, and probably that may be a thing for a while. Just things are pretty crazy at UPS right now with the way we changed things. We made things. Most of our stuff goes Tuesday through Saturday now, but those of us who've been there a while go Monday through Friday still. But that means that we get pushed into other areas and things still got to get out the door. So that's just going to be a possibility on Mondays. Apologize in advance for the future times that this happens. Hello. If you weren't here Saturday, I did a special stream on Saturday. Saturday. I can't thought I know it's Saturday. Yes, the president's 2-0, undefeated in the old impeachment nonsense, and we'll get into a little bit of that today. I'm because I'm so late, I don't even have a lot of stuff prepared. So we're going to go through my bookmarks and maybe hit a different a couple things from my aggregator. And then I will most likely do a second stream this afternoon because it is President's Day. And although I know that I have a basketball practice scheduled today at our school, I coach a 9B team, and who knows if they'll show up for practice anyway. But anyway, because we didn't talk about that after our game Saturday. I didn't realize that they were off school today. So we'll see. But it'll be either around 4 o'clock Central Time, so 5 o'clock Eastern Time, or if they show up, it'll be at 6 o'clock Central Time. Well, whatever. It'll be this afternoon. I'll put a little thing out there and let you know. Anyway, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
Alrighty then, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, or also known as Late, also known as P. Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P. Dog Night channel. It is Monday, the 15th of February, 2021. I hope y'all got your freak on yesterday. If you have a special someone. Oh, that's kind of funny. But, I didn't because my wife is in Tampa right now. She went down to, plus we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Our wedding anniversary is on the 22nd. So we don't necessarily celebrate Valentine's Day because that was just something we decided a long time ago, figuring we could kind of combine our special days on our anniversary. And so a week from today, it'll be our 28th anniversary. We've been married 28 years. It's amazing. Me and Lady Boomer going strong, happier than a clam and two clams in the same shell. I can't even talk today. But anyway, welcome to the show. I'm happy you're here. The president's 2-0, and let me say hi to everybody. Although my chat jumped, so I have no idea who is first. But I will say hi to Kyle, who did the first donation of the day. And I probably should reset the donation streamer, which I didn't do that. But anyway, Kyle.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
And thank you. Kyle says, hello, chat people and P-Dog. Well, hello to you too, Kyle. And I'm sure everyone else says hello. Also, good morning to Small Man, Attack Alpaca, Gunfox61, Select a Boy.
Boy.
Let's see, Maddie, Becca Fairley, Advocatus Diabli, James PFP, Uncle Bad Touch.
Come on, man.
Also, good morning, Attack Alpaca. Did I already say that? I might have. Anyway, good morning also to Rai Deos. Let's see, Sean, how you doing? And no, I'm not on monkey time. I'm on my time. I got you. Anyway, okay. Also, Gitmo Holiday. That's a new one. Well, no, not a new one, but I haven't seen you around much. But that's okay. I'm glad you're here. Let's see, who else is here? Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Let's see here. Anziker, what's up? Pete, I'm trying to hack the social credit system to get more YouTube time. Well, I'm going to be doing some more YouTube time later today, I tell you that. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree. Let's see, Bastard Beast, TC Ball, Mike Savage, Blarg, Howard Welsh. I to you too. You thought you were late. Yeah, I was late. Scotty W, what's up? Cynical Lindsay, Shagsworth, what's happening? Otstan, Tales of Gore, Fight for Your Rights. Am I missing anybody? Katie did skate. The chat jumped, so I'm just making sure I caught everybody up here. I think I did. And I think that's it. All right, so let's do this. Because I don't have a lot prepared, but I do have some things that I do want to talk about that are interesting. First, as far as the former president, Jonathan Peterson, hello. As far as the former presidents go, and by the way, that bell's for everybody because I don't know who is here first, but you all deserve a bell every now and then. I'm going to just hit that bell again and again, and then I'm going to hit it again. And thank you all for being here. All right. I thought I would read. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations today. It's in the Brigitta's Cup, a cafe in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Great little breakfast spot. And feeling good. Feeling good. All right. So I'm going to read my guy JJ Sefton's intro today because I did get a chance to buzz through this, and it's going to be interesting. Here's we go. Good morning, kids. Start of a new week, so let's get right into it. As expected, President in exile Trump, now a private citizen against his will and the will of at least upwards of 80 million legitimate voters, was acquitted yet again in another Soviet show trial sham impeachment. Yes, JJ does have a way with words. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. How you doing? Stop with that P-Dogs hates me thing. I don't hate you. And hello, Teresa the Kid. Of course, the Malfeasant 7, Byrd, North Carolina, Sass, Nebraska, Romney, Utah, Collins, Maine, Murkowski, Alaska, Cassidy, Louisiana, and Toomey, Pennsylvania, voted with the enemy junta for a host of reasons, but primarily because they are in a league with them. Because it's lucrative. Hell, if America is to be destroyed, why not make a buck out of it? That's been the GOP's central tenet since the New Deal, the rationalization of being better managers of an ever-expanding bureaucracy being exposed for everyone to see as a total crock. It was always about power and greed. That is the essence of what POTUS Trump ran and won against. Twice. Shh, don't tell anybody I read that. Good morning, MC.
Stop. Hammer time.
And this is just from an article from the American Thinker. The nonsense that took place over these past days of a pretend impeachment, the absurd hyperbole spewed by the managers, their blatant refusal to acknowledge their own party's actual calls for violence in opposition to Trump over the last 4 years, most especially throughout the summer as BLM and Antifa did billions of dollars of damage to numerous cities with impunity, was a historical disgrace. Their constant reference to our Constitution is a joke. They have no reverence for our founding document, none at all. Second Amendment. Those 7 treasonous faux Republicans voted with the pro-violence, anti-law enforcement crowd. President Trump, as everyone knows well, was and remains a fervent supporter of our police, while the left was calling for their defunding, if not their dissolution. It's safe to say that the 75 to 80 million Trump supporters now have as much contempt for those 7 collaborators as they do for the Biden administration, as it so diligently works to undo all the good Trump accomplished in 4 short years. They are all of a piece with the left, one that is elitist at its core without a shred of concern for the American people. A nation can't survive its fools, even the ambitions, but it cannot survive treason from within, for the traitor appears not to be a traitor. He rots the soul of a nation. He infects the body politic so that it can no longer resist. That's Cicero. Supposedly, Democrats are going to now try and prosecute Trump under the second section of the 14th Amendment regarding rebellion or other crime in order to bar him from running again. But even Chuck Schumer, and malignancy, Pelosi, are signaling that the gambit may be off the table. I think they really shot themselves in the face with this entire thing. Whether or not they realize it is another story. Without Trump in the public eye, as Emmanuel Goldstein, the junta is going to have to be continued destruction of our economy and society over this meaningless and toxic lockdown, a cratering economy because of the same. Newsom and Cuomo, now the poster boys of Democrat incompetence and hubris that cost the lives of thousands. The southern border already buckling under the strain of amnesty and instant citizenship for everyone. The move to abolish the petrochemical industry and send us back to the 16th century. And the ramping up the call to disarm the citizenry, to name but only a few items on the hit parade. And that doesn't even include an insane foreign policy that will lead to Iran either getting nukes or being attacked by Israel and the GCC to prevent it, as well as the Chi-Coms making moves all over the map since Joe Biden, President Aquilung, is owned by them and is not going to do anything when they absorb Taiwan. With all that, despite the propagandist's best efforts, either cover it all up or else lay blame on, who else? Trump. They almost need another show trial as a distraction, even if that garbage has been rubbed into the ground already. But they are in control and nothing is going to stop them. The persecution and silencing of any dissent will be ramped up, and that will be that. In any case, I get the feeling we're on a powder keg. Now, the one thing I will add to that, this whole thing about them dropping the 14th Amendment deal into the voting area, there's a little problem with that. See, in the Constitution regarding impeachment, there has to be removing from office and then the not being able to be run again for office. Problem is, Trump won. There is no insurrection or sedition because he won. So what would probably have to happen for them to even be able to consider doing something like that, which I think they've already kind of committed harikari, so to speak, with the impeachment, because there's so much egg on their face from just for that one video of them talking about fight when it was like 10 minutes of Democrats using the word fight. I mean, it was grueling. But they would have to have some kind of charge of sedition or insurrection, whatever, that would stick. They can't just say, "Oh, well, we're going to vote on this." Well, wait a minute. You don't have a guilty verdict of insurrection or sedition. So let's see. The 14th only gives Congress the power to remove the disqualification for office, not to impose one. Yeah, is that true? Interesting. I'm going to have to read that closely. But anyway, they have no way to do this, and I think again it'd be just political suicide for any Republicans to vote for that. I'm just saying, the seven. Look, Toomey's not running again. Susan Collins, probably doesn't affect her at all. She's popular enough in Maine that she could probably remain. Murkowski, it'll be interesting in 2022 when she's up for re-election if she makes it past a primary, because I guarantee she's going to be primaried. As for the rest, Romney, I think he's in trouble. Cassidy, he's in pretty much Trump country, and his party is not happy with him. Who else? Collins, Romney, Sass. I don't know about Sass. Nebraska is a weird place. Plus, who knows what happened to him? But I don't know. The Republicans in Nebraska are not happy with him, but a lot of people cross over vote in Nebraska. And then Burr in North Carolina, I have no idea. I'm thinking you're just not you're playing with fire with this. But anyway, the problem too, all these lawyers in Congress, they're supposed to know Romney's not in trouble. Mormons keep their own in. Well, guess what? There's more than one Mormon in Utah. I'm just saying. And there's certainly, it'd be, I don't think it would happen, but it'd be really weird if who's the guy, the brother who just won in Utah? That's he's the new congressman. I don't think he would run against him, but the guy from the former NFL star. If you think of his name, put it in the chat. Anyway, there's more than one Mormon in Utah, and I'm sure there's a few that are more Trump-centric than not, or just more Republican-centric. Yeah, Romney has the Mormon thing to fall back on. Plus, he isn't up for re-election until 2025. Yeah, he's got some time. Can he recover? Well, I don't know if he recovered. All of these 7 are getting, well, except for Collins, are getting shit from their party, in their state local party. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, let me move on, because there are certainly several things that we can talk about from the weekend. Let's see. We did. We watched this stupid the DMC video that Andrew Cuomo put out. We'll get to Andrew Cuomo in a minute. By the way, while you're thinking about it, please, if you like what we do here, please hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, or you can decide later, I'll remind you. Also, share the stream out if you can, and then also donations through Streamlabs and through YouTube Super Chats. Streamlabs is better for. It depends if you want to give more of your money to YouTube. I understand, because sometimes YouTube's just easier, but Streamlabs, you just don't give them as much of your money. Anyway, all right. So I got a couple bookmarks. Let's start with Ted Cruz, and this is kind of a little bit of comic relief. Ted Cruz tells us some hilarious questions that could have been asked during the impeachment trial. We'll just start off with a little comic relief. After the House managers moved to have witnesses earlier today, and before they flipped back to a deal not to have them, Senator Ted Cruz posted a hilarious Twitter thread about questions that would have been asked if they perhaps had witnesses. Here's a thread. In fact, I'm going to pull it off. Well, here, no. Chaos at the impeachment trial. Dems had agreed to have witnesses. Then House managers changed their mind this morning. Schumer blindsided, pandemonium. They're negotiating now to figure out extra steps. So they agreed to no, which I think is a mistake. Anyway, then he moved on. 2 times while we're waiting to figure out what's next, I thought I'd share some questions in the pile that didn't make the cut to be asked yesterday. These are real, from various senators who will remain anonymous. Question 1. Where's the short, fat guy? Yes, that would be Jerry Nadler. Question 2. Can we build the Keystone Pipeline if we add Hunter Biden to the board? Oh, no. I feel like your ads are for me. My computer chair just broke. Oh, you know what? Oh, my ads. Oh, no, I'm looking. Yeah, see, I made the mistake of going on Amazon looking for a new chair, because my chair is kind of messed up and it makes too much noise. And I'm just due for a chair that I can be comfortable in and sit in for a long time. Anyway, hello, Ex-Bubba Hotep, by the way. And hello, Richo. Nice to see you back with your own name in the chat again. Question number 3. To Manager Swalwell, tell us about Fang Fang. Question number 5. Here, 6 times. Question 4. Have any of the House managers had sexual relations with a Chinese communist spy? Please explain. Let's see. If we put him in a burlap sack and throw him in the river and he does not float, must we convict? Now, he meant to say if he floats, because that's what they did for the witches, right? Oh my, I think that I can't stop laughing from that one. So perfect, but because this really has been a witch hunt to try to get President Trump for the past 4 years now, and now even after he's out of office. Something tells me that Joe Biden and Representative Eric Swalwell aren't going to like these. Cruz also played the Pelosi card that Senator Lindsey Graham played. Pelosi could testify as to when she knew about the threats to the Capitol, what she knew specifically, and in particular, she could testify, we heard already, that the House Sergeant at Arms turned down National Guard protection for the Capitol on January 6th because of the optics. And I think Speaker Pelosi can testify as to whether she made a decision based on optics, based on politics, not to have additional protection at the Capitol to prevent the terrorist attack that played out, Cruz said. He said he still believes witnesses are unnecessary, but if Democrats open Pandora's box, things will go south for them. Did he have any other questions on here? I can't remember if he had any others. Anyway, at least Ted Cruz can give us a laugh with all the ridiculousness going on. Yeah, so here's the thing. So now I don't know where I heard the report from, but interesting development regarding that as far as the Sergeant at Arms turning down National Guard protection. Because now we know that the FBI knew of some of the planning of the shenanigans that were going on before they happened. And there was warnings, and it had nothing to do with the president, but they know that some of this stuff was pre-planned. And apparently both Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell would have been informed of those things, right? And because the FBI works directly with the Sergeant at Arms, and the Sergeant at Arms of both the Senate and the House that's their job, to communicate those kinds of things to Nancy Pelosi and to Mitch McConnell, and to be prepared for those things and decide. And so they said that the Sergeant at Arms turned down National Guard protection for the Capitol on January 6th. Why? Why would they have done that? And so it brings up an interesting question. If they knew something might happen and they turned that down, did they want it to happen? Because the president didn't say anything in his speech that said, go break into the Capitol, go smash the windows, go force your way in there, so on and so forth, right? So I am just thinking, did they want something to happen so they could make this big scene? And then you have McConnell with this big speech after everything's over, saying that Donald Trump is responsible for what happened. Well, and the reason he didn't vote for impeachment because, kind of a technicality, right? So it seems like Mitch McConnell is pushing for criminal prosecution for President Trump, because that's what he said. We still have that option. The problem is that option isn't really on the table. If you think about the precedent, the Supreme Court precedent that the House managers never addressed. And I know the Trump's team brought it up, the Brandenburg decision, which is a 9-0 decision precedent on the term incitement. And since the articles of impeachment said incitement, that's the only thing that you can judge in the impeachment trial. And it's funny because so many times they brought up the words dereliction of duty during that, when the House managers were talking about that. Now, but they didn't, and regarding not getting, once the riot was in full swing, saying the president didn't do enough to stop it, which I don't even know how he would have stopped it anyway. He did the tweet where he put the video out saying, please stop, go home, whatever, this is not the time. And then Twitter took down his account, so he couldn't communicate. It's not like he was there he could walk in there with a bullhorn. I'm pretty sure during this incident, I am quite confident that the Secret Service probably didn't want Trump going anywhere near that shit, right? But the Democrats, the managers kept saying, he could have stopped this. He had the responsibility to stop this. He could have stopped it. How, Sway? How? I'm pretty sure as those people were in there banging on the doors and breaking windows and walking orderly through the ropes and through the rotunda, and then trying to find the office and whatever, do you think they were checking their Twitter feeds to see if Trump was giving them instructions? Because I don't think they were. Trump never gave them instructions in the first place. Why would they be, what other way would he have communicated with him? Is there a loudspeaker system that he could have, done a little Wizard of Oz thing? I don't know. What could he have done to stop it? Once those knuckleheads were in there wreaking havoc and do whatever they were doing, the only way to stop it would have been with law enforcement, which clearly they turned down at reinforcements first. Then also, I still don't know the timeline of who and why the National Guard originally, when they said they had, there was times when they contacted the National Guard and they denied the request. And I want to know who was involved in those decisions. Who was involved in the idea that, because they denied, I know that they had talked to the Pentagon. The Pentagon denied sending people there at one point. And that was I remember that just during the mayhem. So I don't know. How do you stop it other than law enforcement? And then also, again, this being they keep calling it an insurrection. I call it a riot. They didn't really, what I called it the other day, I called it the selfie insurrection. Yeah, it was because they all went in. Once they got in there, they stood around and took selfies and pictures and with the officers and in the desks and took pictures of each other and whatever. Peter calling them knuckleheads is strangely comedic and amusing. You know what? That's just my word. Hello, Dr. Killjoy. Nice to see you. It's like claiming God is guilty for the Crusades, then claiming he proves his guilt by not showing up to the trial. Yeah, it's just weird. Good morning. Why are you so angry? Also, I'm kind of getting caught up here. Also, BG, Enzicur, and I think I'm caught up. Okay, there we go. And formerly Rod Line. Oh, game chair or office chair? If so, check Gamer Nexus channel's video. Don't buy a gaming chair. Office chair versus gaming chair roundup review. Thank you for that tip. I will do that. All right. Let's move on. What else did I bookmark here? Oh, and here's one. Because the Democrats just don't know how to quit President Trump. And so there's this interesting article in Politico. I wish I had some a love song from a romantic comedy movie that I could play right now. Democrats wrestle with how to quit an acquitted Trump. Democrats spent years hammering Trump for what they see as the most destructive and corrupt administration in U.S. history. Bull shit. The only reason that you would be able to call them destructive and corrupt is because he beat you on everything. And corrupt, well, yeah, because they spent their whole time trying to They spent all 4 years trying to take him down. But corrupt how? Anyway, and believe me, there are more corrupt administrations. Donald Trump was just acquitted for the second time. Now, the real question is, can Democrats finally quit the former president? What's that song? Patrick Swayze sang? Just a fool to believe. She's like the wind. That's the song that came to mind when I saw this headline. Democrats spent 5 years hammering Trump for what they see as the most destructive and corrupt administration in U.S. history. Yeah, there's definitely a beauty is the eye of the beholder kind of thing, you know. But anyway, but as the party juggles a daunting legislative to-do list with full control of Washington for the first time in a decade, there's growing debate among Democrats over how much time Congress should spend on an attention-hogging former president already banished from most social media. You notice how Donald Trump's been kind of quiet lately. I don't know what they're talking about here. Yeah, he's attention hogging when he was president, but he's been pretty in the background, although he did take a victory lap over this impeachment thing. Anyway, and you know what I wish? I kind of wish that Democrats would spend their time on this. Then they wouldn't be doing legislation. Anyway. But as the party, there's a growing debate among Democrats how much time Congress should spend on the attention coming from blah, blah, blah. All right. We have a lot of things. We have a lot of other things to do. I think the worry is that the risk of incitement doesn't go away. Really? You know what? They're milking this for like a mother. You know, there are no plans beyond the January 6th thing. And they are planning on having National Guard troops and all those stupid fences and shit up possibly through September, they're talking about. This was a one-time event. But what they want to do is they want to pass legislation basically banning anyone who has a hint of Trump support from being in Washington or to be able to do anything. They want to punish the people who voted for Trump. And they're using this to come up with some stupid, another Patriot Act bullshit. Anyway. And so I think this is Chris Murphy. I think the worry is that the risk of incitement doesn't go away, that the president is still going to control the sentiments of a big group of people. Okay. You mean like Obama did when President Trump became president? I mean, what are you saying? Are you saying you think Trump's going to try to send in his stormtroopers and try to take over the government? I don't think so. I think he's just planning what it's going to do next politically, but, they like the drama. As much as I would love to cast him in the waste bin, are you inciting violence, Chris Murphy? He is going to continue to influence American politics and influence a lot of his most rabid followers. It's a delicate balance for Democratic leaders to strike. The Biden administration and congressional Democrats are trying to move aggressively on their legislative priorities, starting with a major coronavirus relief package, and the presidents had hoped the Senate could split screen the trial with its other work. But Democrats also know their base loathes the former president and wants him held to account. Well, yeah, again, who's filled with more hate? Trump supporters or the people who hate Trump? Oh, that's a simple answer. The people who hate Trump. But Democrats also know, anti-Trump energy that could flare further after a second acquittal. Yeah, who's more likely to be violent right now? Who is more likely to be violent right now? The Trump people who had the worst insurrection in history, or people who support Democrats who are always who are known for their violence, who constantly have violence. It's important that we find out some of the things that the former president may have been involved in that really hurt our country. Like what? This is Val Demings from Florida, who served as an impeachment manager during Trump's first trial and wants to continue active oversight of his departed administration. We're trying to set up America for success. Yeah, they're talking about doing also a commission, kind of like a 9/11 commission about January 6th. These morons just spend time on it. Please, 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 Democrats, please waste all your time on this bullshit. I implore you, please waste the next 2 years on this type of stuff until we can get a majority back in the House and the Senate, because Joe's pissing a lot of people off. Hello, Luna J. Lane. That's a new name. How you doing? Nice to see you. So the debate comes as Trump continues to hold a tight grip on the GOP base and there's no issue that brings Democrats together faster than criticizing him. Well, yes, and that's the other thing. Here's one reason I think the Democrats will not be able to resist the temptation to continue to go after Trump, because I believe that the media needs Donald Trump desperately, and the media will not let this go. Jake Tapper, Don Lemon, Rachel Maddow, Anderson, the Vanderbilt guy, Anderson Cooper, I know his name, but I just like calling him the Vanderbilt guy. They need Donald Trump. Donald Trump is what put them back on the map. They can't quit him. Their ratings will go in the crapper if they quit him. So they need him, and the media is going to be constantly poking him. Poke. Hey, Democrats, why aren't you fucking with Trump? Poke. Why aren't you finding ways to prosecute him? Poke. Where's the Southern District of New York? Poke. What about his emoluments? Poke, which the Supreme Court already said fuck that shit. They are just, they can't quit him. Otherwise Biden is bad for business, and he's boring. And he's doing, and they don't want attention on the stuff that Biden's doing. This stuff, the gun stuff that he's talking about. Oh, the anniversary of the shooting in Florida at that, David Hogg's school. They don't want attention to what they're doing. So they need to have the distraction of Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump's just going to sit in the background for at least a while and just chill. I really do. Someone said in the chat something about he's going to sit back, eat McDonald's and Diet Coke and, do his thing. Who was that? Was that, I don't remember who said that. I thought that was funny, though. Advocatus Diabli. Trump is busy eating McDonald's, drinking Diet Coke, and playing golf. He doesn't have time to lead a rebellion. Yeah, he has no interest in leading a rebellion. I do wonder when his first post-presidential rally is going to be. By the way, if you weren't here Saturday, Melania Trump opened, and I don't know why, the office of Melania Trump. I don't know if she's trolling them too, the media and everybody, but oh gosh, they're losing their minds. Anyway, again, it's important we find out some of the things that the former president may have been involved in that really hurt our country. Here's the other thing. Trump didn't hurt our country. The things he was involved in was doing things as far as the government and running things through the legislature that helped our country become more and more successful over the first 3 years. And then, of course, the coup came and everyone lost their minds and they're still losing their minds. I still want to talk about that double mask thing. I never talked about that. It was so convenient that the CDC had some guidance on a double mask in a study, and that really didn't amount to nothing. It was the word. Anyway, let's go back to this. The debate comes as Trump continues to hold a tight grip on the GOP base, and there's no issue that brings Democrats together faster than criticizing him. But with the second impeachment trial coming to an end, Democrats acknowledge they have few options left at their disposal to sanction Trump. Top Democrats all but ruled out a censure resolution against the former president on Saturday. Oh, did you hear Nancy Pelosi's speech afterwards? Woo, was she pissed off? That was hilarious. Anyway, top Democrats all but ruled out a censure resolution against the former president on Saturday, keenly aware that it would be highly unlikely to clear a 60-vote threshold in the Senate after 43 GOP senators voted to acquit. Speaker Nancy Pelosi explicitly ruled out censure during a post-acquittal news conference Saturday, saying it would let cowardly senators who didn't vote to convict off the hook. Censure is a slap in the face to our Constitution, Pelosi said. We censor people for using stationery for the wrong purpose. We don't censure people for inciting an insurrection that kills people at the Capitol. By the way, as far as this killing people at the Capitol, more and more things come out, and seems like the only person who actually directly killed somebody at the Capitol was the officer who killed Ashley Babbitt. And I understand why that officer's not being prosecuted. He was doing his job, even though she was unarmed. But boy, imagine if remember all the Supreme Court crap that was going on, and the people came in and occupied the Capitol building and Nancy Pelosi's office. Imagine if one of those officers would have shot an unarmed protester during that protest. Not that it would be out of the realm of that officer's duty, but boy, oh boy, would we know that officer's name, and boy, would there be calls for all sorts of things. Thank you, X-Bubba Hotep, for the Streamlabs donation, who says, as an example, I saw a journalist tweet, quote, "Can you believe Trump is golfing while his impeachment is going on?" Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny. Thanks, X-Bubba Hotep. So far, there appears to be little appetite amongst Senate Democrats to look at further punishments or probes. We don't put presidents in jail, ex-presidents. We just don't do that, Senator John Tester of Montana said. We never have in the past. I don't know why we'd start now. Well, because the Democrats are lunatics and they hate him. That's why. Anyway, House Democratic leaders don't yet have a roadmap to deal with Trump after the trial, according to several people familiar with the discussions. But some Democrats made their intentions clear after the vote. House Oversight Chair Carolyn Maloney tweeted that she would keep working to investigate January 6th, especially on the question of who financed it. Oh, now that's an interesting question, but did not offer details of that probe. Who financed what? Who financed the rally? The current legal proceedings already underway, including an effort to obtain Trump's financial records, will continue, according to senior Democrats. And why? Why? You have no reason to do that. At least not the Congress. Now, I know that the what's her name? Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, is still going after Trump. The Southern District of New York still going after Trump. But the Congress has no reason to. First of all, Trump is not in office. He's a private citizen. You have absolutely no reason to obtain his financial records. Unless you think he's gained something from being the president when he gave away his salary. Just saying. Yeah, who financed it? Who financed what? Most of those people came there on their own accord, on their own dime. Just saying. And there's been some talk among members about revoking his post-presidential privileges and strengthening Congress's powers to ensure that future presidents are forced to abide by stricter rules for responding to subpoenas, divesting from businesses, and not hiring family members. Really? Really? Okay, here's the question in the chat. This should be an easy answer. This should be really easy for you. Can we name any, let's go back 50 years, 60 years or so. Can you name any presidents who have hired family members for anything? I mean, just anything happening in government. Now, we can't, obviously it wasn't Jimmy Carter, because Billy Carter was just a beer drinking hobo from Georgia. But I'm not even, I don't even have to, you can answer the question, but I'm going to answer it because I'm not going to see your answer. I'll probably see it by the time I say it. Gee, President Clinton had Hillary Clinton run a healthcare committee, whatever, something or other, right? How about John F. Kennedy, the greatest Democratic hero of all times ever, except for Roosevelt? What about his brother being the Attorney General, huh? Oh, wait a minute. What about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who maybe it's been rumored that as part of his last term, Eleanor kind of had called the shots. What about, who was the one who, there was a president, I can't remember which one. You might know the history. There was a president who was ill, got really, really ill during his presidency. And they said that his wife basically ran the country while he was ill. I can't remember which one it was, but maybe some of you historian types would know that. Anyway, the idea that revoking his post-presidential privileges, on what grounds? On what grounds? Again, he was acquitted of this charge. There are no criminal charges pending, and if they try to do criminal charges, I'm pretty sure that they'll be thrown out, especially if they try to go for this incitement bullshit. Because, again, Supreme Court precedent. So what Black Hebrew Israelite?
That's right.
What's up? Good morning to the one who? Tubes. First of all, you have to have grounds for doing it, and unfortunately, you don't have a conviction on which to base that type of sanction. So, sorry, he's going to get Secret Service protection, and he's going to get his presidential salary that he gets for life, which he'll probably continue to give away. Woodrow Wilson? No, there was, I can't remember which one. Anyway, some of those measures are already part of a sprawling government accountability bill that Democrats passed last Congress, designated H.R. 1. That bill is expected to come to the floor as early as March, according to a senior Democratic aide. Senior Democrats also drafted a bill last year that would address the slew of what the party saw as Trump's abuses of power, proposing stronger subpoena powers for Congress and a suspended statute of limitations for federal offenses conducted by a sitting president. They don't have, oh my God, they are so full of shit. Look, abuses of power. What abuses of power that is there a so-called abuse of power that you can think of that the Democrats are referencing that haven't been ever used before, that are unique to President Trump? Okay, because if they're talking about executive orders, not unique to Trump. Sorry. The bill did not come before last Congress, but it could come this time around if there's broad enough interest in the caucus. I think they if they were smart, they would quit Trump right now, but they can't do it. They can't. But right now, the sentiment of many House Democrats is that Trump needs to become an afterthought. We've got to get beyond Trump as best we can, as quickly as we can, Representative Anthony Brown of Maryland said, noting that he would support some restoration of Congress's power as long as it's not a distraction. The other part, too, as far as the subpoena power, guess what? Subpoena power for what? For example, in a... No, because they're co-equal branches of government, see? So the Supreme Court would be striking probably that shit down as fast as they could. Remember, they're co-equal branches of government. The Congress can't have any more power over the president than the president has over the Congress. Sorry. Oh, my God. Senate Democrats, meanwhile, argue that an acquittal in the impeachment trial doesn't mean the exercise was worthless as a way to hold Trump accountable. In the end, 7 Republicans voted to convict, more than originally expected. Trump still faces the real possibility of legal punishment, even without Congress. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who voted to acquit, suggested his caucus Saturday that criminal prosecution for Trump could be appropriate in response to the January 6th insurrection. Excuse me, it was not an insurrection. It was a riot and just some bullshit. State legal authorities are also looking into Trump. Just hours before the Senate voted, news broke that New York prosecutors are investigating financial details of Trump-owned properties, a reminder of the expansive web of ongoing investigations outside Washington. And Georgia prosecutors recently opened an investigation into Trump's call to pressure Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger into overturning his laws. With the trial over, congressional Democrats are now moving forward with crafting a $1.9 trillion with a T dollar coronavirus relief package, the party's most urgent priority, and blah, blah, blah. So this article goes on and on and on. I'm done with it, though. They are just, please, Democrats, I implore you, please go after Trump with the full might of all the committees that you can have involved and everyone who can be stuck talking about Trump for the next 2 years. Excuse me, 2 years? Let's see. Not even 2 years now. Let's see. The election, year and a half until, the congressional, the people are up for the congressional seats. And when you lose about 30 of them or 40 of them, because Joe Biden's going to keep fucking shit up. Anyway, real quick. Thank you, Nicole Miller. Oh, what? Do you want to see my sexiest photo? No, I don't even know who you are. Thank you, Tyler F., Johnny Bonsacco, Ship Toaster, also Maddie, Cynical Lindsay, Becca Fairley, everyone who tweeted out the show. I really greatly appreciate you sharing, and sharing, because, sharing is caring. All right, I'm going to finish up my bookmarks, and we'll do articles this afternoon when I do my second stream of the day. Let's just go through these. Gavin, I already did that. Let's see. Oh, good God. David Frum. I do want to read David Frum's article, but I'm going to read it later because I might throw up on my keyboard if I do it now. There has been, let's see. First Amendment case for freedom from the woke religion. Oh, this is that James Lindsay article. I'm not going to read it, but I am going to put it in the tabs today. Yes, you are reading that right. Wokeness is a religion, and it should be treated like one. Its deity is derived from Hegel's absolute, which is a departure from Judeo-Christian God, and all the rest of the trappings are there: catechism, liturgy, etc. It's a pretty good article by James Lindsay. Let me just give you the... Well, this is really long. I'm going to read you the part of the introduction here, and you can go. It's a pretty long article. The question of whether or not the worldview and practice. Here, let me put it on the screen here. The question of whether or not the worldview and practice, for practice it intentionally is, going variously by the name social justice, critical social justice, or the more colloquially woke, constitutes a religion, is one of some general interest that seems to be growing. Until quite recently, we maintained the luxury of not having to treat the matter more deeply than something of a curio of socio-cultural philosophy, however important the issue may be. I have contended, for example, that critical social justice constitutes a religion of sorts, postmodern one, as I laid out at considerable length, a nominally anti-racist one, as Columbia University professor John McWhorter is tackling it currently at book length, and must be thought of as such, at least by everyday citizens, though not by law. Those were simpler times. Now things are quite different and much more serious. So much a serious inquiry is demanded of us. This escalation arrives not so much due to the externally obvious reasons like how profoundly parallel to religion critical social justice and its practice have become, literally washing black people's feet in the streets through tearful apologies against whiteness, but more because of its rapid and seemingly unstoppable penetration into our public institutions, including government at every level, and more importantly, our public schools. So that's part of the introduction, but if you want to read the rest. I'm definitely putting that on my reading list because I haven't read all of it yet, but it's a good article. Moving on. I'm just going to put this link in here too. It's called Here is the Evidence. Let's see. Oh, apparently this is a crowdsourced crowdsourcing evidence for journalists of things having to do with the things where you put ballots in boxes and where they mailed them in and stuff. I'm not going to say the word, but interesting of irregularities. I'll just say that, and I don't mean it's something you need to take X-Lax for. All right, let's see. I'm going to skip David Frum, but I may do that one this afternoon. California, though, we have the recall effort for Gavin Newsom. Well, apparently California is pushing for strict signature verification for the recall. Now, that's ironic. Can you tell me why? Because signature verification of the presidential election is considered voter suppression. But signature verification for Governor Newsom's recall is fortification of democracy. Isn't that convenient? In the immortal words of the church lady. So I will there's an article for that too. I'm going to just put a link on that too. Minneapolis, my chosen region of abode, is going to spend $6.4 million to recruit more police officers. What? What? The what? The city where George Floyd was ended, and the city council voted to disband the police, or whatever they said they do. They're gonna defund them, lower their budgets. Oh, well, what happened was the rise in crime in Minneapolis has kind of forced the city council's hand a little bit. Minneapolis will spend $6.4 million to hire dozens of police officers, even as some city council members and activist groups are advocating to replace the police department following George Floyd's death. Well, the rash of carjackings and murders in Minneapolis has probably had them think twice. The city council unanimously voted Friday to approve the additional funding that police requested. The department says it only has 638 officers available to work, roughly 200 fewer than usual. An unprecedented number of officers quit or went on extended medical leave after Floyd's death and the unrest that follows, which included the burning of a police precinct. With new recruit classes, the city anticipates it will have 674 officers available by the end of the year, with another 28 in the hiring process, according to the Star Tribune. Now, this next paragraph, it almost seems like it would be unnecessary, but ABC News insisted on putting it there. And then we're going to move on. Here's the paragraph that had to be in this article, as if anybody didn't know this. But also, their choice of adjectives is always fascinating in these cases. Quote, Floyd, a black man who was handcuffed, died May 25th after former police officer Derek Chauvin, who is white,
You're fucking a white man!
pressed his knee against Floyd's neck, even as he said he couldn't breathe. Floyd's death sparked protests that led to nationwide reckoning on race, yada, yada. Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder, yada, yada, yada. I'm fine if they're going to do that, but could they do it every time, every article? If you're going to describe people in that way, you know what I'm saying here. I mean, it's all that does is it tweaks at people. It's incitement, so to speak. Anyway, a couple more here, and then I got to go. And like I said, I'm going to stream again this afternoon. This is interesting. The French have had enough with American wokeness. I thought this was fascinating. The prominent French intellectuals are getting woke to American wokeism. The threat is said to be existential. It fuels secessionism, gnaws at national unity, abets Islamism, attacks France's intellectual and cultural heritage. Interesting. American intellectuals may be hopping on the woke bandwagon, rushing to put up Black Lives Matter and hate doesn't live here signs. Refreshingly and perhaps surprisingly, prominent French intellectuals are pushing back against the woke ideas emanating from American campuses. A New York Times story describes the phenomenon. I'll link that one too. I'll have to do an archive of that. Hang on. We'll copy and we'll archive. And I'm pretty sure this is be here already, so we'll just put that one out there. So that'll be in the, yes, it was, good. That'll also be in the tabs. The threat is said to be existential. It fuels secessionism, gnaws at national unity, abets Islamism, attacks France's intellectual and cultural heritage. The threat, ? Certain social science theories entirely imported from the United States, said President Emmanuel Macron. French politicians, high-profile intellectuals, and journalists are warning that progressive American ideas, specifically on race, gender, post-colonialism, are undermining their society. Their battle to wage against an intellectual matrix from American universities, warned Macron's educational minister. Emboldened by these comments, prominent intellectuals have banded together against what they regard as contamination by the out-of-control woke leftism of American campuses and its attendant cancel culture. Despite the historical tone of the New York Times piece, it's a good thing that the French, who have always taken pride in their cultural heritage, are debating the influence of ideas that they see as coming from American campus. Well, I wish some people around here would do that. Well, there's some who do, believe it or not. Unfortunately, some right-of-center political leaders want a parliamentary investigation of the effects of the intellectual revolution the U.S. supposedly is importing to France. Good. I hope other countries tell them to fuck off. Anyway, I'll leave this up. You can read that. And I left the New York Times article archive version in the tabs. Let's see. And there's also Daily Mail. I'll put the Daily Mail one there too. What the hell? All right. So you'll get the Daily Mail version too, if you're interested. And let's see. Anything I need to get to before I go? Oh, no. We'll do this after. We'll do this one this afternoon, but if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna put it up here. The what's his name? Anyway, the Trump lawyer had an interview on CBS News, and it was a beautiful thing to behold. It was a takedown of all takedowns, and I didn't feel sorry for her at all. I wish I had time to watch it right now, but I don't. Hey, I will this afternoon, if you follow me on Twitter, Minds Gab, or Clout Hub, we'll put an announcement when I will be. Oh, and also Discord. I'll put it on Discord too, of when I will be streaming this afternoon. Like I said, it most likely will be around 4 o'clock Central Time, which is 5 o'clock Eastern. I'll either be at 4 or 6 o'clock. I haven't, as soon as I figure out whether or not my basketball team's going to show up today. I don't think I'm pretty sure they're not. They don't have school. And I didn't clarify that before I left on Saturday after our game. So anyway, not that I'm giving you the sausage making in the background. Vanderveen, thank you, Vanderveen. All right, thank you. Check your logic. All right, but that's it for today. At least for now. Like I said, we'll try this again. Holy smokes, 53 people, 39 likes. Please hit the like button before you go. And also share the stream out. If you're watching a replay, put a comment in the comment section. And in fact, even if you're not watching the replay, about 10, 15 minutes from now, click back and put a comment in the comment section. I don't know what about. Let's see. I should start having a question of the day that you can put an answer in the comment section, and then I can draw something from that or whatever. But anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's it, though, guys. I got to go. Thank you for dropping by today. I apologize for being late. Like I said, Mondays, that could be a thing. Hey, Larry and Amy in Connecticut. I didn't even see you drop in. How you doing? But that's it for today, people. Hopefully you'll see me this afternoon. I got to go. My name is P Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Watch my new video, by the way. It's on YouTube. You know that thing, YouTube. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.